Hi everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maura Ann, and I'm very excited to be here today and spending a little time with you. I miss seeing you every day and I hope we'll be together again real soon. Today I had a great day. Today the postman came and he brought me a letter in the mail. I saw the envelope. This is an envelope, what we put a letter in. And on the envelope, it had my name, Maura Ann, my address, that's the number on the street of my house, 3316 Avenue R, Brooklyn, New York, 11234. I was so excited. I opened up the envelope. I took out the letter. It said, "Dear Maura Ann, how are you? I miss you. I hope we'll see each other soon." And then the person who sent it to me drew a picture. Did you ever write a letter to somebody? Who might we write a letter to? We might write a letter to a grandma or grandpa who lives very far away. We might write a letter to a friend who moved someplace far where we don't see them all the time. Sometimes we might write a letter to somebody who's in a nursing home or in a hospital because it's hard for them to talk on the phone and they can't get out and they like getting mail. And in a letter, you can say anything you want. You can tell them how your day was. You can ask them questions. You can draw pictures. You can say anything you want in a letter. Today we're going to read a book about a boy who keeps in touch with his grandmother by writing letters to her. And she answers him by writing letters back to him. The grandmother lives very far away on the other side of the ocean. Okay? The name of the book is Dear Juno. And the author, the person who wrote the book, is So-Young Pak. And the illustrator is Susan Kathleen Hartung. Juno watched as the red and white blinking lights soared across the night sky like shooting stars and waited as they disappeared into faraway places. Juno wondered where they came from. He wondered where they were going, and he wondered if any of the planes came from a little town near Seoul where his grandmother lived and where she ate persimmons every night before bed. Juno looked at the letter that came that day. Here's his letter. It was long and white and smudged. He saw the red and blue marks on the edges and knew the letter came from far away. His name and address were neatly printed on the front, so he knew the letter was for him. But best of all, the special stamp on the corner told Juno that the letter was from his grandmother. Through the window, Juno could see his parents. He saw bubbles growing in the sink. He saw dirty dishes waiting to be washed. He knew he would have to wait for the cleaning to be done before his parents could read the letter to him. "Maybe I could read the inside too," Juno said to his dog Sam. Sam wagged his tail. Very carefully, Juno opened the envelope. Inside, he found a letter folded into a neat, small square. He unfolded it. Tucked inside were a picture and a dried flower. Juno looked at the letter and words he couldn't understand. He pulled out the photograph. It was a picture of his grandmother holding a cat. He pulled out the red and yellow flower. It felt light and gentle like a dried leaf. Juno smiled. "Come on, Sam," Juno said. "Let's find Mom and Dad. I want to stop for 1 minute and ask you some questions. How do you think Juno felt when he got the letter? How would you feel if you got a letter from somebody special?" "Grandma has a new cat," Juno said as he handed his letter to his mother, "and she's growing red and yellow flowers in her garden." "How do you know she has a new cat?" Juno's father asked. "Well, she wouldn't send me a picture of a strange cat," said Juno. "I guess not," said Juno's father. "How do you know the flower is from her garden?" asked Juno's mother. She wouldn't send me a flower from someone else's garden, Juno answered. No, she wouldn't, said Juno's mother. Then Juno's mother read him the letter. Dear Juno, how are you? I have a new cat to keep me company. I named him Juno after you. He can't help me weed, but the rabbits no longer eat my flowers. Grandma. Just like you read it yourself, Juno's father said. I did read it, Juno said. Yes, you did, said his mother. At school, Juno showed his class his grandmother's picture and dried flour. His teacher even pinned the letter to the board. All day long, Juno kept peeking at the flower from his grandmother's garden. He didn't have a garden that grew flowers, but he had a swinging tree. Juno looked at the letter pinned to the board. Did his grandmother like getting letters too? Yes, Juno thought. She likes getting letters just like I do. So Juno decided to write one. Do you think Juno's grandmother would like to get a letter from him? How is he going to write a letter if he doesn't know how to write yet? What can he do if he doesn't know how to write a letter? Let's find out. After school, Juno ran to his backyard. He picked a leaf from the swinging tree, the biggest leaf he could find. Juno found his mother, who was sitting at her desk. He showed her the leaf. I'm going to write a letter, he told her. I'm sure it will be a very nice letter, she answered, and gave him a big yellow envelope. Yes, it will, Juno said. And then he began to draw. First, he drew a picture of his mom and dad standing outside the house. Second, he drew a picture of Sam playing underneath his big swinging tree. Then very carefully, Juno drew a picture of himself standing under an airplane in a starry nighttime sky. After he was finished, he placed everything in the envelope. Here's my letter, Juno announced proudly. You can read it if you want. Juno's father looked in the envelope. He pulled out the leaf. Only a big swinging tree could grow a leaf this big, he said. Juno's mother pulled out one of the drawings. What a fine picture, she said. It takes a good artist to say so much with a drawing. Juno's father patted Juno on the head. It's just like a real letter, he said. It is a real letter, Juno said. It certainly is, said his mother. Then they mailed the envelope and waited. What's happening in this picture? Here we see Juno's grandmother, and she got the letters from him. How do you think she's feeling? What do you think she's going to do now? One day, a big envelope came. It was from Juno's grandmother. This time, Juno didn't wait at all. He opened the envelope right away. Inside, Juno found a box of colored pencils. He knew that meant she wanted another letter. Next, he pulled out a picture of his grandmother. He noticed she was sitting with a cat and 2 kittens. He thought for a moment and laughed. Now his grandmother would have to find a new name for her cat. In Korea, Juno was a boy's name, not a girl's. Then he pulled out a small toy airplane. What do you think that airplane meant? Why do you think Juno's grandmother sent him an airplane? Juno smiled. It meant his grandmother was coming to visit. Maybe she'll bring her cat when she comes, Juno said to Sam as he climbed into bed. Maybe you two will be friends. Soon Juno was fast asleep. And when he dreamed that night, he dreamed about a faraway place, a village just outside Seoul where his grandmother, whose gray hair sat on the top of her head like a powdered donut, was sipping her morning tea. The cool air feels crisp against her cheek, crisp enough to crackle, he dreams, like the golden leaves which covered the persimmon garden. First, we're going to talk about some of the vocabulary words that we saw in this book, and then we are going to learn how to write a letter. Stamp. And when you write a letter and you put it in an envelope, you must put a stamp on the corner of the envelope. That way, the post office will deliver it to the person that you're sending it to. It's the way we pay the post office to deliver the letter. Different countries have different stamps. This stamp, if you can see it clearly, is a picture of an American flag. It's one of the stamps that we can buy here in America. When Juno got his letter in the mail, it had a special stamp on it. I don't think we can't see the picture, but it said it had a special stamp on it, and he knew from that stamp that the letter came from his grandmother. Our next vocabulary word is envelope. This is an envelope, like I showed you in the beginning. This is what we put the letter inside of. We seal it. You could wet this and stick it together. And this goes into the mailbox. Address. Every house has a number and a street that it's on. Okay? That's your address. That's how the mailman knows to find your house to give you the letter. And it's important for you to learn your address, because that's how, if you ever need to call a policeman to your house, that's how he'll know where to find you. A fireman, a delivery man. So maybe during this week, you'll take some time to learn your address. And the last vocabulary word is mail. Okay? We put this in the mailbox and we mail it. We send it to somebody. Now I want to show you how we write a letter. We start every letter with the word dear, and then we write the person's name. Dear Maura Ann, dear Grandma, dear President Trump, whoever you're writing the letter to. Then here you write whatever you want to say. How are you? I am sick today. I feel great today. I went to the park today. Did you go to the park? I hope to see you soon. Whatever you want to tell that person. Then you sign it from, and you sign your name. From Mary. Now inside your packets that you took home from school, there was a sheet with a template for a letter. I want you to find that sheet, and I want you to practice writing a letter with your parents. Dear, you can send it to whoever you want. You could send it to Maura Ann, to your Mauras, to a grandma. You can send it to somebody who might be in a nursing home or in a hospital and can't get any visitors. Maybe they would be happy to get a letter from somebody who's stuck in the house a little bit. Maybe they have a broken leg and they can't get out a little bit at all. Some years in my class, we've sent letters to the President of the United States. Dear President Trump, what is it like to live in the White House? Do you work hard? Whoever you want to send it to. And I would be so happy to get more letters like I got today from anybody who wants to write to me. Okay? So thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Take care.